ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यं मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता शिविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते ताप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवे प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसूक्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणां नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। जयदं सुरतो पंगोर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पादाम्बुजो राधामदनमोहनो तमादिदेवं करुणानिधानं तमालवर्णं सुहृदावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्र सेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपम्। परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षीय क्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुमे। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, first Canto, Chapter 3, Text 6 onwards. Saeva Prathamam Deva Kaumaram Sargam Ashritam Chachara Dushcharam Brahma Brahmacharyam Akhandidam Saeva Pratamam Deva Kaumaram Sargam Ashrita Chachara Dushcharam Brahma Brahmacharyam Akhandidam. Okay, Jobi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Sa eva pradhamam deva kaumaram sargamasridaha cha charada ducharyam brahma brahmacharyam akhandidam.
Good. Vivek Prabhu, translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth.
Very good. So first of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute. So Brahma was created by Garbhosai Vishnu. He was given the in charge responsibility of creating further progenies. So being the chief progenitor, being the first living being, human, first living being, Lord Brahma has been authorized by the Supreme Lord to create progenies. So the first progenies that he created were the four Kumaras. They are called Sanat Kumaras. Their names are Sanat, Sananda, Sanatana, Sanaka. Okay. So Brahma wanted them to further make progenies, but they were not interested into
Really, can you take name again?
Sanat, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, Sanat, Sananda, Sanaka, Sanatana. Sanat, Sananda, Sanaka, Sanatana.
Okay.
Okay, so they were the four Kumaras known as Chatush Kumaras, the first sons of Lord Brahma, the first creation of Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma wanted them to make further progenies, but they were not interested. They said, we are not interested to enter into Grahastha. It will entangle us in this material world. We want to go for self-realization. We want to perform celibacy. We want to maintain celibacy, not get into Grahastha and get entangled in this material world. So they did not agree to it. Brahma was very angry because the very purpose of creating the Sanat Kumaras was to make further progenies. So which was totally failed. So that's what here. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma. Okay, that's why they're called Kumaras. Kumara means one who maintains celibacy without entering into the Grahastha, who, being situated in a vow celibacy, underwent severe austerities. Why did they undergo severe austerities? For self-realization. What is self-realization? Who am I? Who is the Supreme Lord? How can I realize him? Okay. What is the relationship between him? So this is the self-realization process. So they didn't want to get entangled in the Grahastha Ashrama. That entering into Grahastha Ashrama means getting entangled in this material world. They knew it. So they wanted to pursue the spiritual path to understand the absolute truth. So the creation of this material world is affected, maintained, and then again annihilated at certain intervals. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam edu nanena kaunteya jagat viparivartadi. This jagat, this universe, this material creation is manifested and unmanifested at certain intervals. So it is created, it is maintained for some time, and it is annihilated. This is done by the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. So there are different names of the creations in terms of the particular types of Brahma, the father of the living beings in the creation. So Lord Brahma is the father and is the chief living entity of this material creation. He is the father of all the mankind, all the creation, not just mankind. Father of the living being in the creation. The Kumaras, as above mentioned, appeared in the Kaumara creation of the material world. So Kaumara creation is the first creation. And to teach us the process of Brahman realization. So their purpose is to teach us what is Brahman realization. They underwent a severe type of disciplinary action as bachelors. These Kumaras are empowered incarnations, and before executing the severe type of disciplinary actions, all of them became qualified Brahmanas. So before they took the vow of celibacy, they all became qualified Brahmanas. This example suggests that one must first acquire the qualification of Brahmana, not simply by birth, but also by quality. And then one can undergo the process of Brahman realization. So who can realize the Brahman, the absolute truth? Only those who are on the platform of Brahmana. That means those who are on the platform of the mode of goodness. Those who are on the platform of ignorance and passion are not Brahmanas. Okay, what are the modes or the qualities or the modes of the different varnas? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmanas are in which modes? Sattva-guna. They are in mode of goodness. Okay.
Goodness.
And Kshatriyas are in which mode?
Some mode of passion, Prabhuji.
Rajoguna. Okay.
Rajo.
And Vaishyas,
Tamo guna. Tamo guna.
no,
Raja.
no. Only three gunas are there. Three gunas are there. You said all the three.
Prabhuji, they are the two gunas, Prabhuji. Passion and ignorance.
Passion and ignorance. They are in mixed. Sometimes they are in passion predominating, sometimes they are in ignorance. So they are in mixed mode. While Brahmanas are predominantly in goodness, Kshatriyas are predominantly in passion, Vaishyas are in mixed mode of passion and ignorance. And Shudras,
Ignorance.
they're predominantly, it doesn't mean that they're 100% in ignorance. Sometimes they exhibit some good qualities like goodness and passion also. Similarly, those who are in the mode of goodness also exhibit the other two qualities in varying degrees, small degrees. Nobody is 100% in goodness or passion or ignorance. Nobody. Predominantly, what is the mode they have acquired? They are known by that mode. Okay. So the Kumaras, before they undertook this path, they became Brahmanas. Brahmanas means mode of goodness. So it is clear that only when you situate yourself in the mode of goodness, that you will be able to pursue the spiritual path, to know the absolute truth for self-realization. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, it's not possible for them to enter into the spiritual path. One has to be a Brahmana, that means in the mode of goodness. So, and this qualification is not by birth. And it's already very clearly mentioned, not simply by birth, but also by quality. Yes, getting birth in a Brahmanical family is very good because you have a conducive atmosphere to be in the mode of goodness. Because generally Brahmanas are in the mode of goodness. So but it is not mandatory that anyone who takes birth in a Brahmanical family will become a Brahmana. Just like anyone who takes in a family of engineers will become an engineer. It's not mandatory. There are all the chances for them to become an engineer, isn't it? But it's not mandatory. It's not a must that they will become. Similarly, it is not the birth that gives you this title of Brahmana. It is a quality of your life, the mode in which you live, that gives the qualification of becoming Brahman. So that's why Prabhupada says this here. This example suggests that one must first acquire the qualifications of Brahmana, not simply by birth, but also by quality. And then one can undergo the process of Brahman realization. Only then he will be able to pursue the process of Brahman realization. Brahman realization means understanding oneself and the Supreme Lord and the relationship between both of them. So this is the purpose of human life. The purpose of human life is self-realization, not sense gratification. The Kumaras knew this very nicely. Kumara knew that if we enter into Grihastha, what will happen? Then the attachment to wife, the spouse, one's spouse, the family members, the children, the friends, the property, and your assets, your name, your fame. So you'll be attached to all these things. So it'll be very difficult to come out of this attachment. So knowing this well, they did not want to enter into the grihastha. Grihastha means, attachment to all the worldly things, especially one's own family, children, possessions and all. My wife, my husband, my children, my house, my property, my name, my fame. So you get entangled. You will not come out of that. It's very difficult to come out of the. It's a Maya Jal. You have seen the spider web creating the web. You have seen. We all have seen. The spider web is creating the web.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
So many small insects gets trapped in that web. Will the spider get entangled in that? No, it doesn't get entangled. But so many small creatures, small insects get entangled. We should be like that. We should be like that. Okay. Although we are in the grihastha ashrama, we have our spouse, we have children, we have money, property, this and that. We should not be attached. We should not get entangled in that. But unfortunately, we become the prey of the spider, and we become entangled in that web of the spider. We should become the spider, not the prey, not the insects. So we can make the web, but we don't get entangled in that, just like how the spider is not getting entangled. So we can get married, we can be but mostly 99.99% people are getting entangled. That's why they didn't want to take a risk, the Kumaras. Knowing well, we'll get entangled. It's like that. It's very, very, very difficult to come out of that. Just like the Chakra view was created by the Kauravas. Abhimanyu could enter into that, but he could not come out. He got trapped in that. He didn't know how to come out. Similarly, we also get into the grihastha ashrama. Okay, so we don't know how to come out of these attachments. We know to enter, but how to come out of the attachments, we don't know. It's very difficult. We get entangled. We get caught in the Maya. So the Sanat Kumaras took a wise decision, but Brahma was not happy. Brahma was not very happy because the purpose of creating this Kumara was failed. He wanted them to make further progenies, which they denied. That's what this verse says. Let's see what is the next verse. Dudiyam tu bhavayasya rasatalagatam mahim uddharishyanupadatta yatnesa saukaram vapu dvitiyam tu bhavayasya rasatalagatam mahim uddharishyanupadatta yatnesa saukaram vapu. Okay, Kapil Prabhu and Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, we have some problem in camera. So I think it is on and off.
No problem.
द्वितीयं तु भवायाश्य रसातलगतां महिम् उद्वरिष्यानुपादत्ता यज्ञेश सोकरं वपु.
Haribol. So, yeah, translation.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe.
Haribol. Sorry. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation. And for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. So, who is the second incarnation? The first are the Kumaras. The second is the boar incarnation. What's the specialty of boar? Why did Lord appear as a boar? Why not any other animal? What was this incarnation meant for? Any idea? He could have he could have taken any other. He particularly took this form for a particular reason. What was the Leela that he performed in this incarnation? What was the Leela that Lord performed in this boar incarnation? Parag Prabhu has left. No one knows.
Only you can see that earth is on the mouth of the
From the
boar.
sea.
Yeah, the earth was pushed down to the nether region, to the lowest region. It was displaced by whom?
Asuras.
Which Asura? Which Asura? Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha. Okay. There are mainly two Asuras, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Those type. Okay. Now, who are these Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu originally? Originally, who are they? Who are they originally? Jaya Vijaya.
Prabhu, Jaya Vijaya.
Jaya Vijaya. Okay. Who are Jaya Vijaya?
They are Dwarpalakas of
Vaikunta.
Vaikunta.
They are the Dwarpalakas of Vaikunta.
Vaikunta.
Why did they come here as Asuras? We know the story of Sanat Kumaras going to meet the Supreme Lord. Okay, they were stopped by the Jaya Vijayas, and they got angry. They cursed Jaya Vijayas to take birth in this material world as Asuras. The Lord interfered. All these stories. Anyway, if you don't know, it will come in this. Okay, so they are basically originally Jaya Vijayas, the Dwarpalaga, the devotee guards of the Vaikuntha planets. They are the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But they were cursed to take birth in this material world for the offense that they have done to Sanat Kumara. What is the offense? They stopped them from seeing Mahavishnu, entering Vaikuntha Loka. That was offense. So they got angry. They are Brahmanas. Later, they also repented. We shouldn't have got angry. Then, of course, this was the Leela of Lord Vishnu. This was the Leela of Lord Vishnu. So he wanted to come to this material world and fight with them, to experience the chivalrous, what is that? Chivalry. So he wants somebody equal to come and fight. So they came to this material world as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So that Hiranyaksha took this earth planet and put it in the nether region, that is the Padala region. Okay. So Padala is what? It's a filthy place. It's a dirty place. If it is so much dirty, filthy, will we go and stay there? So which animal will go in such place?
Boar.
Yeah,
Boar.
or yeah.
So the Lord took the right form. So only a boar can go to such place, filthy place. If you are asked, a human being is asked to go to such a nasty and filthy place, will we go? No. Very difficult. Stinking. So the boar is such an animal, it can go, it is the food, filth, dirt, it's the food. So the boar can go to, that's why Lord took the boar incarnation. And we should not think that this is an ordinary pig or boar. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. His body is transcendental. One should not mistake that it is an ordinary boar, ordinary pig, or something like that. No. Yes, although he took that form, his body is always transcendental. So took the form and lifted the earth and placed in its original place. So this is the second incarnation. So the indication is that for each and every incarnation of the personality of Godhead, the particular function executed is also mentioned. There cannot be any incarnation without a particular function, and such functions are always extraordinary. So for every incarnation, there's a particular reason or purpose behind that. There's a particular function. Without any reason, without any function, he will not come here. There's a purpose behind that. What Bhagavad Gita says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkridam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yugi. So he comes for a purpose. Mainly three purposes. What are the main three purposes? To annihilate the miscreants, to save the pious, to re-establish dharma. So there's a purpose. There's a reason behind that. So the incarnation of the boar was to take the earth out of the Pluto's region. So what is the Pluto's region? In English, is Pluto's region. What is that in Sanskrit?
Patal look.
It's Patala, but it's Rasatala planet. Patala also, it says Rasatala. So that region, it's all in the lowest. Summary Prabhupada has mentioned it is Rasatala. Okay, it's Patala, Rasatala, it's all same. This thing only. So it's region of filthy matter. Filth means dirt. Picking up something from a filthy place is done by a boar.
This is the Patala is the Narak, like we say Narak.
Yeah. In the Patala region, in some corner, there are Narakas, 28 hells. It's in that region. So,
Prabhuji,
yeah.
Krishna Prabhu, sorry. You mentioned three reasons Lord takes birth. One is the, you said to establish dharma, right?
Yeah.
Which are the other two you mentioned?
To annihilate the miscreants, asuras, to annihilate the bad people, asuras, miscreants, to save the pious.
Okay.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhu means devotees.
Okay,
Paritranaya. Okay, to save. Vinashaya cha dushkridam. Dushkridam means demons, asuras.
Okay, Prabhuji. Noted.
And dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yugi. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. So the boar goes to the filthy place, and the all-powerful personality of God had displayed this wonder to the asuras, who had hidden the earth in such a filthy place. That was Hiranyaksha. There is nothing impossible for the personality of Godhead. And although he played the part of a boar, by the devotees, he is staying always in transcendence. Who in this world is glorifying and praying to a boar? Such a, as far as we are concerned, it's such a, inferior animal who lives in filthy place. So people will, these people are worshipping the pig. Isn't it? Some people may say that. But even though he has taken the form of a boar, he is still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He never falls down from his position. Whether he takes the form of a boar or a fish, okay, or he becomes the son of Yashodananda, he becomes the charioteer of Arjuna, he still maintains his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He never comes down from that position. But in the material world, A CEO of company, will not take the position of a peon, will he? Never. He'll never come down to that position because then he falls down from that position. Whereas the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whichever form he's taking, whatever function he does, he still maintains his position as a Supreme Lord. So that's because why? He is Sachidananda. He maintained his position as Sachidananda always, irrespective of what form he takes, what function he does. He never diminishes in his position, in his function. So there's nothing impossible for the personality of Godhead. And although he played the part of a boar, by the devotees he worshipped. We are all worshipping him as Varahadev. We are worshipping. Isn't it? Because he's a supreme person. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. We know who he is. We are not just worshipping any, animal called pig. Lord has taken that form for a particular reason. We know that. So although he is in that form, he is still the supreme personality of Godhead. So that's why we are installing him. We are doing prana pratishta in the temple as Gaur incarnation, as Varaha incarnation, Varaha Dev, and we worship him. So that's why he said, there's nothing impossible for the personality of Godhead. And although he played the part of a boar, by the devotees he is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. He's always transcendental. So that's a boar incarnation, second incarnation. Now third incarnation. Tridiyam Rishi Sargam Vai. Tridiyam Rishi Sargam Vai. Devarshitvam Upetyasam. Devarshitvam Upetyasam. Tantram Satvadam Achashta. Naishkarmyam Karmanam Yataham. Tridiyam Rishi Sargam Vai. Devarshitvam Upetyasam. Tantram Satvadam Achashta. Naishkarmyam Karmanam Yataham. Okay. Trimani Mataji.
Tritiyam risam sargam vai devam upayam saha tantraham sattvam astra nastam karmani yataha.
Okay, very bold. And Jobi Mataji, translation.
In the millennium of the rishis, the personality of Godhead accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narada, who is a great sage among the demigods. He collected exposition of the Vedas, which deal with devotional service and which inspire in non-fruitive action.
Very bold. So in the millennium of the rishis, the personality of God accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narada, who is the great sage among the demigods. He collected expositions of the Vedas, which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive action. So the third, Tridiyam, the third incarnation in the millennium of rishis is Devarshi. Deva means demigods. Okay. So Rishi among the demigods. That's why it is said, who is great sage among demigods. And who is he? The third empowered incarnation. This is an empowered Shakti Avesh avatar. So in Narada, the Lord has invested, empowered Narada with certain Shakti. That's why it's called Shakti Avesh avatar. So what did he do? He collected expositions of the Vedas, which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive action. So what is his incarnation meant for? His incarnation is to teach the general public about the devotional service. So he has become master of the devotional activity, devotion. So his function or his duty is to teach the importance of devotional activities, and by doing that, to get elevated from this material plane, to get lifted from this material plane to the transcendental plane. So the great Rishi Narada, who is an empowered incarnation of the personality of Godhead, propagates devotional service all over the universe. So that's his duty. Because there are different types of people in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and in mixed modes. So those who are able to receive the devotional service, to them he gives that. So the great Rishi Narada, who is an empowered incarnation of the personality of God, propagates devotional service in all over the universe, not just this universe. He goes to different universes. There are millions and billions of universes. So Narada goes, he doesn't require any passport or visa. He's free to travel, unlike us. Can we go to other countries without passport and visa? We cannot. We not approval, permission, passport, visa, clearance, so many things, isn't it? Even if you go to another country visit, first of all, you should approve that you have accommodation, you have tickets, you have valid visa. Only then you can go. But Narada is such a saint, such a sage that he can travel without passport, without visa, without any part of spiritual and material creation. He's such a devotee, pure devotee. Who was Narada? Narada in his previous lives? There are two incarnations given in the scriptures. Who was he before? Before becoming Narada, who was he? What was he? Or who was he? He was a
He was a Brahman lady son.
He was a Gandharva.
Gandharva.
Just before Narada, he became Narada, he was a Gandharva. Gandharva, they're all staying in the upper planet system, the Swargalokas, the heavenly planets. They are, very, very famous singers, very melodious, beautiful singers who entertain in the Swargalokas, in the heavenly planets, by their singing talent, glorifying the Supreme Lord with their singing talent. So that's why we say if there is any good singer, he's a Gandharva, Gana Gandharva. Okay, because they are the very, very sweet singers, very talented singers. So he was a Gandharva by name. What? Anyone remembers his name? Upabharna. Okay, he was a Gandharva by name Upabharna. So what mistake did he do? Any idea?
Some curse from Brahma, some curse from Brahma.
Yes. So Brahmana's previous birth is a maid servant son. Before that, he was Upaparna, a Gandharva. So in that birth, he did a great mistake. Gandharvas are supposed to glorify the Supreme Lord. So in the assembly of Brahma called all the Devatas for a meeting, for a Harinam Kirtan. So this Upaparna Gandharva was also invited to glorify the Supreme Lord. So instead of glorifying the Supreme Lord, when this Upaparna saw all the Apsaras, he got attracted in, he started glorifying the Apsaras and demigods and other people instead of glorifying the Supreme Lord. Just like if I am invited for a Harinam Kirtan, okay, instead of me singing the glories of the Supreme Lord Hari, I am singing the glories of the mundane personalities, the film songs. How it will be? In a spiritual environment, in a spiritual kirtan, if I am singing film song, how it will look like? That is what he did. This Upavarna Gandharva. So instead of glorifying the Supreme Lord Hari, he was singing mundane songs. Immediately, Lord Brahma got angry. He got so annoyed with his behavior, said, you go and take birth in this material world as Shudras and in the Shudra family as Shudra. You are doing Shudra's activity here in this heavenly planet. So he was cursed to take birth in this material world because of that offense. So he took birth in the next life as the son of a maid servant. But he was a devotee, he was a Gandharva. Because of that, he also got a chance to associate with saintly personalities. Although he was born in a Shudra family as a Shudra, as a maidservant son, so he got an opportunity to take association of sages, saintly personalities. When the sages were in a place during Chaturmasya, now the Chaturmasya is going on. Chaturmasya is, but generally rainy season, the sadhus, they don't travel. They stay in one place because rainy season is not good for traveling. So they stay in one place, they do their bhajan. Okay. So they were, especially his mother was serving the sages, were there observing the Chaturmasya vows. And this small boy of 4 or 5 years old, helping the mother also in the seva. So with their permission, with the permission of the sages, they're all Bhakti Vedanta devotees. They're all devotees of the Supreme Lord. So with their permission, he partook the remnants of their prasadam. So when we associate with devotees, when we partake the remnants of the prasadam, the remnants of the water wash, the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the devotees, and the charan dhuli of the devotees. These three things are very, very strong, very, very, purifying. Bhakta pada dhuli, bhakta bada chal, bhakta bhukta avashesha, teen mahadbal. That's what the Shastra says. Bhakta pada dhuli. The dhuli means the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. Bhakta pada jal, the water that is washed the lotus feet of the devotees. Bhakta bhukta avashesha, the remnants of food honored by the devotees. These three, if we can honor, if we accept that, if we get that, Teen Maha Bal is very, very good for our spiritual advancement, for our purification. So Narada got an opportunity to partake the remnants of food or prasadam of these devotees. And they blessed him. Fortunately or unfortunately, his mother passed away by a snake bite. And he was 5 years old. He was not at all interested, like the children, playing with toys or, and wasting their time in playing. He was always interested in serving the sages. And the mother passed away because of snake bite. And the Chaturmasya season is over. This Bhakti Vedantis, they also left. There was nobody to take care of him, so he left towards north, chanting the holy name of the Lord by the mercy of the sages, remembering their instruction. By partaking the remnants of the prasadam they gave, he became purified. His heart became purified. All the anarthas vanished. He continuously chanted the glories of the Supreme Lord, the Hari's name, holy name. And as he was traveling through different places, towns, villages, mountains, crossing the rivers, the gardens, so he was always chanting. By the mercy of the Lord, he could have the vision of the Supreme Lord in his heart. He saw, physically he saw in his heart the Supreme Lord, the darshan of Supreme Lord. So he was so captivated, so happy by seeing the darshan, so happy that he wanted to capture him and keep him. But it was a fraction of a second, the Lord vanished. He could not capture him. And the Lord told him in a celestial voice, "Now don't try, you will not be able to see me again. But definitely in your next life, you will be able to see me always." So after that, he had to relinquish his body, left his body. Then he took birth as Naraji, as a son of Lord Brahma. So that was the Tritiya, third incarnation, Narada. So he became purified, totally purified. And because he was purified, he could associate, he could see the Supreme Lord every time. It was not necessary for him to get some permission to go and visit the Supreme Lord anytime. He got free pass, free entry to see him anytime, any place, any circumstances. Whether it is in Dwaraka, whether he is in Vaikuntha, whether he is in Goloka, whether he is in the material world. He has a free pass. Anytime he can go. So that's what. The great Rishi Narada, who is an empowered incarnation of the personality of Godhead, propagates devotional service all over the universe. Not this particular universe, all over the universe. All great devotees of the Lord, all over the universe, and in different planets and species of life are disciples. Different planets and species of life are his disciples. Different planets also. Different species also. Even, the Asuras, they don't hate him. Kamsa, they don't hate. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they don't hate. They know very well he is very close to Lord Vishnu. They hate Lord Vishnu. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa, they all hate. But they don't hate Naradaji. What is the word meaning of Narada? Any idea? Narada. Da means what? One who gives. Yashoda, one who gives. Yashas, Kirti. Kirtida, one who gives. Kirti. Like that. Narada, one who gives. Narayana. Is Narada. So he gives Narayana to everybody, provided we follow his path, bhakti path. So he goes to different planets. He has disciples in different species. Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of the Srimad Bhagavatam, is also one of his disciples. He has purified many, many asuras. Many species, different species. Okay. He has purified Valmiki. He has purified Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is an incarnation of his Shakti. But still, why he is? Because he was also contaminated in the three, by compiling in the three modes of material nature, scriptures related to the three modes. So he also needed purification. So Narada purified him. Only then he could write the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's called Amala Puran. So only Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran. Means Amala means no mala. Mala means dirt, contamination. Something which is uncontaminated is called Amala. So Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran. Why? What's the reason Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran?
Beyond three modes of the three
Yeah,
modes.
it is not contaminated by the three modes of material nature. It is beyond the three modes, even beyond the goodness, in the pure mode of goodness. That's why that all other Vedas basically deals with three modes of material nature. Activities related to three modes of material nature. But Srimad Bhagavatam is beyond. Amala Puran. It is the ripened fruit of Vedic literature. In a tree, there is root, trunk, branches, twigs, flowers, fruits. All are part of the tree. So which is the best part of the tree?
Fruits.
Fruit. The twigs also, the root also, the trunk also, the leaves also, the flowers also, everything is part of tree. But the best part of the tree is the fruit. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of that Vedic tree. All other literatures are like trunks or roots or branches or twigs or flowers or leaves. Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of that. And what type of fruit? Not the kacha. Fruit, that's a kacha, that is raw, also is fruit. But it's not the raw fruit. It is the ripened fruit. And just not the ripened fruit. In the ripened fruit also, there are different qualities. That fruit which is bitten by a bird, especially a parrot, that is the most sweetest fruit. The parrot will bite only that fruit which is the most sweetest. So that is the fruit, the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's, it's said that Nigama Kalpataror, Galidam Phalam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third verse, right? It is very clearly mentioned. This fruit is ripened by a parrot. And which parrot? Shukhamukhad. Who is Shukha? Sukadeva Goswami. And who was Sukadeva Goswami? The pet parrot of Radharani. Is the sweetest. And all this Bhagavatam is coming from the lotus lip of Sukadeva Goswami, the pet parrot of Radharani. And this fruit has no seed, has no skin. Just imagine only juice. A fruit that doesn't have skin nor the seed inside that. It has only the pulp, the sweet, the very, very nectarian sweet. Srimad Bhagavatam is that. That is the ripened fruit of the Vedic tree, which has no seed, which has no skin, and it is all full of juice, nectarian juice. So compared to the other Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam is called the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. So that's the difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures. So Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of Srimad Bhagavatam, is also one of his disciples. Narada is the author of Narada Pancharatra, which is the exposition of the Vedas, particularly for the devotional service of the Lord. So he is also author of Narada Pancharatra, which deals with the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. What process we should follow to please the Supreme Lord in devotional activities. The Narada Pancharatra trains the karmis or the fruitive workers to achieve liberation from the bondage of fruitive work. The conditioned souls are mostly attracted by fruitive work because they want to enjoy life by the sweat of their own brows. So it's all meant for us. We're all working day in and day out. For what? For sense enjoyment. They're all doing fruity work for our. So by following this process that is given in the Pancharatra, Narada Pancharatra, we'll be able to get delivered from this material entanglement. So the whole universe is full of fruity workers in all species of life. The fruity works include all kinds of economic development plans. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is what basically we are doing. But the law of nature provides that every action has its resultant reaction, and the performer of the work is bound up by such reactions, good or bad. So when we are doing fruity activities, we are bound by the result of that fruity activity, good or bad. We are bound by that reactions. If we are doing good activities, we are bound by the good karma, sukriti. If we are doing bad activities, we are bound by the bad karma, dushkriti. So the reaction of good work is comparative material prosperity. So the reaction of the good work is comparative material prosperity. So when we do good activities, we'll prosper materially. Isn't it? When we help a person, definitely it's a good activity. So materially we'll prosper. We'll get a good job, we'll get a good house, we'll get a good family, good children, good environment. We can enjoy materially a lot when we do good activities, when we help other people, when we give charity, when we open hospital, when we help the orphans. These are all good activity, philanthropic activities. When we are engaging ourselves in such activities, always will be rewarded suitably. So in this life or in our future lives, we'll be taking birth in aristocratic family where we'll enjoy all the opulences. Janma Ishwarya Srudashri. These are the material opulences. Janma means we'll get a very good parentage, very good family where we can enjoy Aishwarya. Aishwarya means wealth. When we have wealth, there is no scarcity. Now just take the example of the children of Ambani or Adani. Do they have any problem? Whatever they want, they can get that, isn't it? So friends, Janma Aishwarya. So if you have a good Janma, it's followed by Aishwarya, wealth. Shruda, knowledge. Okay. Why? Because you have got all the conducive atmosphere possible for you to get knowledge. Whichever college, whichever university, whichever school they want to put their children, it is possible. Is there any problem for the rich people's children to get admission in any university? So if they are inclined, if they have that interest, then they can get into any university, get any knowledge, spiritual as well as material. Shri, beauty. Beauty is also given because if they have done good activities, because of that, they will also be beautiful, handsome. So this is the reward that we get by doing such sugurdis, such pious activities. Similarly, if you do bad activities, what will happen? We'll be born in a very poor family where it will be very difficult for us to meet both the ends for survival. Roti, makan और कपड़ा बहुत मुश्किल होगा. So foolish materialists have no information. Where is that? Sorry. Yeah, whereas the reaction of bad work is comparative material distress. It brings only distress. But material conditions, either in so-called happiness or in so-called distress, are all meant ultimately for distress only. Can you explain this? Okay, anyone? This is a very good statement. But material condition, either in so-called happiness or in so-called distress, all are all meant ultimately for distress. How can happiness be called distress? Prabhupada gives a very, very important lesson here.
So
Whether
even Prabhuji,
you are in happiness or whether in distress, in the material condition, it is distress only. Why?
Prabhuji, as you mentioned, even let's say Adani or Ambani sons, definitely it may not come out, but they also may have various other problems, like his younger one is having health related issues and all. So even though a lot of material opulence is there, but still he is undergoing a lot of health issues and other problems actually.
Yeah, that's right. I agree to that. But here my question is, okay, we know about the distress, because when we are doing bad activities, we are supposed to undergo distress. But when we are doing good activities, we are supposed to enjoy. Even that enjoyment is ultimately for distress only. Why is it?
So Prabhuji, I mean, because our intention is to go beyond these material things and go
Okay.
back to the Godhead. So what happens is that when you are enjoying, okay, again, I mean, you are doing the good work, you are getting that time to get enjoyment and all in the Sarga Loka. Then again, I have to come back again to balance it. And then when good work and bad work all balance is zero, that time only you can go back. So again, there is a chance that you fall down again in the material clutch. Again,
Yeah.
with the bad work, good work, everything will start again.
You're right, Prabhuji. See, I have
Okay.
explained this earlier also. Yes, Kapil Prabhu.
Or maybe Prabhuji, because ultimate enjoyer is Lord actually. Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer. So
Yeah.
if we try to enjoy ourselves, actually that is not the nature. And maybe that's how somehow, I don't know.
Yeah.
we may
Anyway,
not
I explained this earlier also. You're all right in a way, but still the specific answer is whether you are doing Sukriti or Dushkriti, good work or bad work, ultimately it will lead to distress. Ultimately, distress when we do bad activities, we understand it leads to distress. But when we do good activities, why it should lead to distress? I have explained this earlier. See, bad work, it is definitely bitter. The result will be bitter, isn't it? But good work is also bitter in a sense. It's a sugar-coated bitter pill. It's a sugar-coated bitter pill. Outside it is sugar-coated. Oh, you enjoy. But as you go inside, it is bitter, isn't it? Similarly, when we do the good activities, philanthropic work, helping others, okay, when you take birth in a very rich family, if you are not inclined for devotional service, if you utilize this, atmosphere, this good family wealth and other influences for your sense gratification and go on a wrong path, doing sinful activities, what will happen? Again, you are back to square. So having all the opulences, if you are inclined for devotional service, is good, but it's not always the same case. If you are not inclined for devotional service, using this your name, fame, reputation, wealth, and everything, if you are utilizing this your position, name, fame, and wealth and everything for sinful tendencies, sinful activities, you are going back. So that's why Prabhupada says ultimately it is for distress only. You will not come out of this at all. So you are getting entangled in this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Sometimes as a pious man, sometimes as a poor man, sometimes in a very opulent person, sometimes a very pauper person. So this cycle keeps going. That's why we don't need to do any good work. We don't need to do any bad work. What we need to do is just work that pleases the Supreme Lord. I have always been telling that our balance sheet should be zero. No debit, no credit. No debit, no credit, all zero. No papa karma, no punya karma. It should be zero. Only then, as Vivek Prabhu rightly said, that we will be able to go out of this material realm. Otherwise, we may sometimes go to the upper planetary system. When that, what you call, result is finished, we have to come back. Again, Chine Punya Marte Logam Vishant. Okay. So, when we exhaust our Punya Karma, we will come back. Again, we have to start from scratch. We have to acquire so much Punya Karma, then go, or if it is bad Karma, go down. Like that will be, just like football, from one place to another place will be kicked from one place to another place. Upper planetary system, middle planetary system, lower planetary system. We don't want to do any good work nor bad work. No pious work, no impious work. What we want to do is only work that is pleasing Krishna, where we will not get any good or bad result. So that is that.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
one question is that if we want to do it like a Nishkam, right? We are not expecting anything and we are doing some good work, but without expecting any, we don't desire. Just for doing good only you're doing. That also will bring you karmafal or like.
Yeah, that also will place you in such family, in such opulent situation. So you do good work without expectation, and at the same time surrender everything to the Supreme Lord, become a good devotee. That is required. Just negating is not enough. Just detaching is not enough. You have to attach also. So you are not interested in the result. You are doing good work. That is just detaching yourself from the result. But at the same time, you have to attach to devotional service also. Then only it is complete. So just detaching yourself from the fruits of the action is not enough. You detach yourself from the fruits of the action. At the same time, attach yourself to devotional service.
Yes, Prabhuji. Another question, Prabhuji, if you are giving donation to the different temples or different activities. So is that bring karma fall also? Like we are giving
No,
just
if you are giving for devotional activities without expecting anything, that will not fetch you karma phala. But at the same time, if you are giving for social activities, dana, helping others, even without expecting anything in return, you will be placed in your next lives in good families. You will be taking birth in good families, where you can further advance, but it all depends how you utilize that situation. Sometimes we may misuse it, sometimes we may use it rightly. That's why I said it's a sugar-coated pill, the pious activity. You don't know, there's danger hidden in that. There is bitterness hidden in that. Outside it shows very, very tasty sugar, but there is danger inside. We may or may not become devotee. If you don't become devotee, it's gone. If I have money, I can use it rightly. I can misuse it also. I can use it for gambling. I can use it for intoxication. I can use it for any bad purpose. So when you are getting a situation or when you are getting a birth in a good family, it doesn't mean that you will become a devotee. There are every chances, every possibility that you can become, but it's not necessary that you will become.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So, but the material conditions, either in so-called happiness or in so-called distress, are all meant ultimately for distress only. Foolish materialists have no information of how to obtain eternal happiness in the unconditional state. Sri Narada informs these foolish fruity workers how to realize the reality of happiness. What is the reality of happiness? Where actually happiness is in devotional activities, not in material activities. Material activities may give you happiness temporarily. It will not give you eternal happiness. He gives direction to the deceased men of the world, how one's present engagement can lead one to the path of spiritual emancipation. The physician directs the patient to take treated milk in the form of curd for his sufferings from indigestion due to his taking another milk preparation. It's a very good example, Sri Prabhupada says. When we are suffering from milk products due to indigestion due to consuming milk. The same milk in another form can treat us. That is, curd can treat us. Okay. So taking another milk preparation. So the cause of the disease and the remedy of the disease may be the same. The cause of the disease and the remedy of the disease may be the same milk product, but it must be treated by an expert physician like Narada. So it should be treated, the physician should be expert. Then only you can come out of the disease. Bhagavad Gita also gives the same solution of serving the Lord by the fruits of one's labor. So we have to surrender our fruits to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are taking from him, we are giving it back to him with love and affection. Nothing belongs to us. So that will lead one to the path of Naishkarmya or liberation. Naishkarmya means liberation without any result of our action. The activities that when we do, it doesn't bring any reaction, good or bad. That's called Naishkarmya. Okay. So next is 9. Then we finish 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Hare Krishna. So Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananda Kodi Vaishnavati ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Go Premanande Hare.